Carmen Winstead was 17 years old when her parents decided to move to Indiana, USA. Her father had just lost his job, and the only way to secure a new one was to relocate. The move came with many challenges for Carmen. She had to leave her friends behind and start over at a completely new school. Starting fresh in a new social environment was never easy, and since it was already the middle of the school semester, none of the students seemed to have any interest in getting to know her. At first, she spent most of her time alone, walking through the school hallways without speaking to anyone. She kept her head down and tried to get through each day unnoticed. But after a while, she managed to fall in with a group of 5 girls. At first, she felt relieved she had finally made some friends. She felt accepted. But it didn't take long before she overheard them talking behind her back, making cruel jokes about her. They had never truly wanted her as a friend. It had all been fake. Devastated, Carmen decided to confront them. However, the conversation quickly turned hostile, and the girls soon became her worst tormentors. They began bullying her daily, making her life at school unbearable. The harassment escalated. One day she left her books on her desk, only to return and find them vandalized with cruel messages. Another time she opened her backpack to discover yogurt smeared all over her belongings. Even her locker wasn't safe. It was covered in insults and hateful graffiti. Carmen didn't know how much more she could take. But the final straw came when one of the girls pushed her in the classroom, causing her to spill her lunch all over herself. The entire class laughed. At that moment, she made a decision: she couldn't endure the bullying any longer. That day she stayed behind after school, planning to report everything to a teacher. But she never got the chance. After lunch, the principal announced a fire drill. When the alarm rang, Carmen and her classmates followed procedure, making their way outside. As they gathered in the schoolyard, the 5 girls saw an opportunity to humiliate her one last time. They approached her, cornering her near an open sewer drain. They surrounded her, taunting her, shoving her. Carmen backed away, trembling. Each push forced her closer and closer to the edge of the sewer opening. The girls continued laughing, oblivious to the danger. Then with one final shove, Carmen fell. The laughter died immediately as the girls watched in horror. Her scream echoed through the drain before being abruptly silenced. A sickening crunch followed. The teacher rushed over, but it was too late. Carmen's body lay lifeless at the bottom of the deep, dark hole. Her neck had snapped at an unnatural angle. Blood pooled around her broken form, her face twisted in agony. The most horrifying detail: her face had been partially torn off from the impact against a jagged metal pipe. There was nothing anyone could do. Carmen was dead. When the police arrived, they retrieved her body and confirmed the worst. Her neck had been completely broken, and her face had been destroyed by the impact. The 5 girls, terrified of being blamed, lied. They told the police that Carmen had simply fallen. There was no mention of the bullying, no mention of the shoving. And since there were no witnesses who had seen the push, Carmen's death was ruled an accident. The case was closed. The girls thought they had gotten away with it. They were wrong. Months later, strange emails and messages began appearing on their social media accounts. The messages all said the same thing: "You pushed her." They also contained an ominous warning: "She didn't fall. He was pushed. Admit what you did or there will be consequences." Most of the girls dismissed the messages as a cruel joke, but unease settled in. Then one of them began hearing things, whispers echoing from the drain in her bathroom. Low, guttural laughter coming from the pipes. The sounds grew louder each night. Then one night she vanished. Her mother awoke to a terrible noise, something heavy dragging across the floor. When she rushed to her daughter's room, the bed was empty. The girl was gone. A frantic search led police to a horrifying discovery. Her body was found deep within a sewer drain, the same one where Carmen had died. Her face had been completely ripped off and her neck was snapped just like Carmen's. One by one, the remaining 4 girls suffered the same fate. Each disappeared mysteriously, only to be found in the same sewer drain. Each with a broken neck. Each with their face torn away. But it didn't end there. More students began dying. Students who had believed Carmen's death was just an accident. students who had laughed at her. One by one they were found in the sewer just like the others. And even now the deaths continue. Some say Carmen's spirit is still out there, growing stronger each year. She no longer only targets those who bullied her, now she comes for anyone who refuses to believe the truth. If you don't believe she was pushed, she will come for you. She will find you. Whether it's through your bathroom sink, your shower drain, or beneath your bed, she will appear. And when she does, you will hear that same eerie laughter growing closer and closer. Then as you lay there, paralyzed in fear, she will emerge, faceless, broken, vengeful. And she will rip off your face. So be careful who you befriend. Be careful what you believe. Because one day you might just become the next victim of the curse of Carmen Winstead.
That's it for tonight's tale. But don't worry, there's always more where that came from. Be sure to stay tuned for even more nerve-thrilling horror stories every single week. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join us here at the Hollow Horror. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Until then, stay safe. Or stay scared. See you next time.